you told me about it, and I said, I'm gonna go for it. Might as well.
Well, you told me about it, and then you forced me to come, and then I had to lie to my boss to be here.
I've done it before, and I was really excited to do it again because you get a lot of fun artists in the same place to talk about art while you're drawing. That's always fun. You know, you try and do as many pages as you can. You hope to get some sort of a story in there. But if you don't, at least you tried really hard.
Well, that's all your fault. I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. So, you know, I knew that something like that has been going on in the Valley for, you know, the past couple of years. I just haven't really motivated myself or disciplined myself enough to actually do it. So we'll see if I can actually get past the procrastination and which I've been managing to do for what, 2 hours now?
Yeah!
So we'll see if I actually get my story done.
Well, I think you and I had a conversation about seeing if we could host one here with Tiny Army in your store, and you were very pro that idea, and so we got together and made it happen. Actually, you did, but I just brought some people along.
Well, I've read all of Scott McCloud's books. I'm a huge fan of his, and he is the originator of 24-Hour Comic Book Day. He came up with it. I remember reading about it way back when in his books, and I always thought it'd be interesting to get a shot to do, like in a legitimate situation as opposed to just by yourself, because you can do 24-Hour Comic Book Day any day. This just happens to be the official day or whatever. So I just wanted to do it. That's how I found out
I've
about
heard
it.
about it for a couple of years, and I wanted to do it for a couple of years, and just lined up that this year I was able to free up the time and try to get something else done. You know, in between working on other things, I thought it was a good way to get a complete project done.
Well, let's see. Last year I did a challenge called a 7-day roguelike, which is where you create a computer game in 7 days, 134 hours. And that was when I found out about that challenge, and then I heard it compared to the 24-hour comic challenge and the NaNoWriMo challenge, and I thought, ooh, if I do all three of those, I might be the only person in the world to do all three, and that seemed kind of cool. So so I did the 7-day roguelike and succeeded at that, so now I'm trying to do the 24-hour comic. I found out about this location from the 24-hour Comics Day website.
It's kind of like running a marathon, but for someone that can't run, doing it, trying to see if you can out-nerd everyone else.
It means a new beginning for me, because I need to, if I really want to do this, then it's got to start somewhere. So I figured, why not now?
It's a chance to give yourself no rules to get something done, because a lot of people start projects and they're so hard on themselves they can never get anything, you know, finished. So this provides structure for you to get that done, and I think it's a great time to hang out with friends and to drink a delicious Balls energy drink, because when I'm thirsty, balls.
I just think it's an interesting experience, something fun to do. Not, you know, put some stuff together and sort of work on, you know, improving speed because you're under serious time constraints. But besides that, you know, just sort of fun thing to do.
It's a way to just hunker down and get a project finished, and it's also much more creatively just a fun way to do my own project and get it over with and get it done quickly.
I do a webcomic. It's named Advanced Placement. I've been doing that for a little over a year. It'll be 2 years in January, and that's really just where I've kind of come into doing comics and whatnot, so this seemed like a fun little escape from that.
I once did a comic book with my friend, and according to Diamond, we were what, the gem of
the month.
Gem of the month. We did it one issue and never again. We thought we've reached the top.
Well, I've been reading comic books since I was 6, so that's 27 years. And I worked for Atomic Comics for a long time, I've done flats for color separations for hi-fi color design at one point. I know a lot of people in the industry, a lot of friends who are artists, colorists, inkers. I know editors, all kinds of stuff, and everybody's always asking me, "Where's your stories? Where's your stories?" And because that's all it is. I could get a comic book done because I know all the right people. I just haven't produced anything. So we'll see. I've got the art degree.
I've self-published 3 books that aren't comic books, and but I've been a fan of comics for a long time. And this year I started my own webcomic called The Monster Commute on SteamCrow.com, and so I'm here doing more of that.
Well, besides sort of being a casual fan, I'm just interested in it as a storytelling medium. I'm not really a comic book geek or whatever, but I think it's sort of a nice way to get information across.
Yes,
So
I agree.
more study of the medium and the form than necessarily, like a fan of a particular comic.
Published a comic book called Villains through Viper Comics. I've done a couple anthologies and stuff, and I've self-published 2 books.
Well, nothing really professional. I had a comic strip when I was in college, which was like late 70s, early 80s, just in a college paper. And then I made a short attempt at a comics career, but in those days computers were much more lucrative and much easier to get into, so I ended up being a software guy. But I did some cartooning, like designing t-shirts and stuff for most of the companies that I worked for, but I'm a software guy.